What's up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Imperfect Action Imperfect Action Con. I'm so like thinking about the conference. To another episode of the Imperfect Action Show. And on this podcast, what we talk about? We talk about um, helping people with business and marketing strategies, principles, lessons that you can implement into your life ASAP and get a result. And if that result works for you, working that result consistently over and over and over and over and over. Excuse me. And we do this completely for free because we want to help people. We want to give people access to information, access to strategies, and access to things that can literally change their situation. So today's episode is sponsored by the Imperfect Action Con. As you guys know, we have a conference coming up next month. And at the conference, we're going to have so many amazing speakers sharing and talking about so many amazing things. The podcast is, why I keep saying the podcast? The conference is rooted in entrepreneurship and its four pillars, right? We're talking about credit, digital marketing, content, NFTs. A lot of this information is vital to growing your business online. So we're going to make sure that you are in the room to get access to this amazing information. So what we're gonna do right now is I'm about to send a link out to my community, let them know we are live. We are talking about we are live, chatting about the three levels of sales. And the thing about the three levels of sales, um, I actually got this from this guy Eli Wild, who worked with and still consults for Tony Robbins, and he's a very very smart person, and he was giving a master class on filling up events, filling up spaces, and then he actually touched on the three rules of sales, and I wanted to share that information with you guys. Um, but I want to send a quick message out for anyone interested. We are live on YouTube now. Chandra, what's up? I see you. All right, guys. So let's get into it real quick. All right. We're talking about the three levels of sales, right? And understanding the three levels of sales is going to help us do more business. Jasmine was good. I see you, right? And Eli Wild was giving a lot of value and gems around this. And when you think about it, it's really about the like language, physiology, what people are focused on. He called that the triad, right? And kind of how we talked about it the other day. You know how you feel. Like what you focus on equals how you feel about a thing. So when we're talking about the three rules of sales, this is going to apply to you selling anything, not necessarily a product and service, but if you're selling someone on an idea, you're selling someone on a decision that they need to make, you know, it can get down to the basics. So when I started to uncover this, I'm like, yo, he's 100% correct, right? So let's get into the first one, right? The first one is, and I'm gonna take a cue from Change to write this one because we were talking about yesterday, talking about how to make sure people are getting what they need. All right, so let me see if this banner works. Okay, boom, that works. All right, so this is what we're gonna do. Number one, people, right? So all about first. Okay, so first level of sales, you have to be all about helping people, and keep in mind that the help is you doing what's best for them. I'm writing down. You doing what's best for them. Boom. So that's level one. I'm gonna put it right here so y'all can get the notes, right? Boom. Level one. It's all about the first level of sales is understanding. It's all about helping people and you doing what's best for them. Case in point. This morning I text a couple different people that I know are leaders or like uh influential in their particular categories. And I'm like, hey, listen, I would love to flame your group, give them some free information on how they could, generate more revenue in their respective space completely for free because I really want to help people. I really want to get my messages out to more people, so I want to help them. So the intention is all about helping people. You see right here? All about helping people. And I feel that sharing this information is doing what's best for them because they may not be in a place where they can receive this information or hear this information, let alone for free. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, okay, me thinking about this level one rule for sale is putting myself in position to help people and then doing what I feel is best for them if they receive the message. You understand what I'm saying? So that's level one. Level two is realizing that what's best for people is outside of their comfort zone. What does that mean? Let me write that down right here. Right? Number two, doing what best for people is outside of their comfort zone. So I'm going to drop it here. Doing what's best for people is outside of their comfort zone. So what does that mean? This is a good one. And this is actually a challenging one too. And I'm going to tell you why. So boom, here we go. Number two, doing what best for people is outside of their comfort zone. So why is this a thing? All right. So you have to understand, innately as humans, we want to be safe. So our body chemistry, our nature, our mindsets want to keep us safe. We want to be comfortable. We don't really want to like stretch. We don't want to pull. Excuse me. We don't want to move. We want to be safe. So as a result of being safe, if someone has a goal or they're trying to reach somewhere, they understand that, okay, for me to get from where I am to where I'm at, I have to do something that I haven't done. Now, me doing this thing that I haven't done, it may be uncomfortable for me to actually do it. That might lead to nervousness, anxiety. Shout out to Chandra. That might lead to anxiety. That might lead to me overthinking. That might lead to me feeling overwhelmed or whatever the case may be, right? So what happens? No movement happens. Anxiety happens. Overthinking happens. All of the things that you're worried about end up being the action that you don't take, right? And when you're someone that has valuable information or if you're someone that has a product or service, you have to understand doing what best for people is outside of their comfort zone. So most people are going to be afraid or not take the move because it's uncomfortable for them. So the second level of sales is understanding that, okay, what I'm offering people, generally speaking, is going to force them to do something that they're not comfortable with. That might come with investing money. That might come with thinking differently. That might come with creating new habits. That might come with limiting assets. Access. That might come with creating a brand new routine or breaking up an existing routine, right? Because if they want a different result, they have to do a different action, and that different action may lead to a feeling of discomfort, but you can't help them if they're in their comfort zone. You have to get them out of their comfort zone. So understanding number two, right, doing what's best for people is outside of their comfort zone. You have a better idea of how you may be able to help them, all right? So let me take that one down. We're gonna talk about number three. And number three is really interesting. And I think it's actually kind of funny. Let me drop it here. Bang. Okay, here it goes. Hope you guys are ready for this one. People will fight like hell to stay in their comfort zone. What does that mean? That's hella excuses. That comes with delayed texts, um, texts that are not answered, emails are not answered, phone calls that are ignored, excuses on excuses, excuses that don't make any sense. Afraid to spend money, hoarding information, holding on to money, ignoring tough conversations, right? People will say that they want a thing, but they will fight like hell to prevent themselves from actually getting the thing that they say that they want, which goes back to the second one, right? Doing what best for people is outside of the comfort zone. So if people are fighting like hell to stay in their comfort zone, how difficult is it going to get them to get out of the comfort zone, which ultimately is going to be what's good for them and what's best for them. So when you're entering the marketplace, you have to understand these three things. And not only do you have to understand these three things, you also have to understand that it's not your job to convince. There's so many people to help. There's so many people that you can impact. There's so many people that need something from you, that are waiting for something from you, right? What up, Todd? And the problem is, if we work to convince people, we're actually pushing them away, right? Because people are attracted to the opposite. Royston, what's up, bro? People are attracted to the opposite. And it's not your job to convince. Now, there's a difference between following up, being available and supportive, and being convincing. So, for instance, I believe that there is fortune in the follow up. I believe that. And I believe that if you are not advantageous in your follow up, deals will fall apart, deals won't get done, your revenue also will have an impact, right? But at the same time, I do believe in also that it's not your obligation to convince someone that they need to invest in themselves by via your product or your service. You know what I'm saying? It's not your job. It's not your obligation to do such. It's not. So like, your product does a thing. Your service does a thing. You know that you generally can help people, but you can't convince someone that wants to stay in their comfort zone. You can't convince anyone who wants to fight like hell to stay in their comfort zone. There's no way that you can do that. People will argue you to the depths and justify within their own selves as to why they, even though they took the call, why now is not the time, but it was a time when they took the call. Or why, it's too expensive, or whatever the case may be, or I got to do this and do that. But the thing about it is two things here, people. One, if you went to college, you spent 40,000, 50,000, 60,000, or whatever, right? Probably twice over 2 semesters in a year, depending on what school you went to get access to information that you cannot use, to get access to information that might be dated, to learn from people that are not in a position of where you want to go. You don't want to have your professor's life. Let's keep it a buck. You can't even use the information because you got to wait till you graduate. So you graduating with information that's dated, and you're paying every year anywhere from $30 to $120,000 to get access to this information that you can't use. However, the same person who's did that, who's sitting in debt right now, or may not even be fully in debt, but paying this college tuition off, they won't invest in a mentor, or they won't invest in a program that costs 10K, 15K, 20K, 40K, 50K, whatever, to learn something in real time that will generate money in real time and create an income in real time. They think that's crazy. But going to college, spending a year on prerequisites that have absolutely nothing to do with you, with your interests, that will make you no money, that will not better your life, no, not one bit. Without a thought, we're spending $100,000 potentially a year on that access and on that information. Makes no sense to me. I'd rather pay someone that's making 6 figures, 7 figures, or someone that's doing something that I want to do. Pay them premium to get access to how they did it and what they're currently doing and the relationships that I'm meeting along the way, and be able to get results immediately. But that's just me. So I was willing to get out of my comfort zone. So when you're speaking to clients, you have to keep that in mind too. Are you creating an environment that would help them get out of their comfort zone, or are they fighting like hell to stay in their comfort zone? And you have to basically convince them to get out of it. It's not your responsibility to convince them. It's just your responsibility to provide information, support, share, and give them an opportunity to take the next step if they're ready to take that next step. So Roy says, let me throw it on here real quick. So Roy says he did a 5-year apprenticeship. So this is my belief on trades. I believe when you do a trade, it's a little different, because when you're doing a trade, it's focused, right? It's focused on a skill set that once you learn it, you can monetize your skill set. When you go to college, generally, right, unless you're going for a specific reason, like to be a lawyer, some type of doctor, dentist, whatever. Generally, you're going for like general studies, or you're going for like, some subject that when you get out of it, 9 times out of 10, people aren't moving forward in that career. You know what I'm saying? They're doing something totally different. So I think when you do a trade, when you do an apprenticeship, it's a little different because you're getting something, you're getting one skill set, right, that may have some access to other skill sets around that main skill set that you can monetize. You're basically becoming an expert and a specialist in. So apprenticeships, I feel like, is different. I just think, like me, I went to college. I paid maybe like, I think I got a partial scholarship, so I paid 40, 80. I think I paid like 160 over the course of 4 years. And then I had to contribute between 60 and 90 of my own money. The rest was scholarship, right? But I graduated with an English degree, 4 years, and I don't want to say the English degree has not contributed to me being able to speak or formulate sentences or whatever case may be. However, I didn't build a career around that, and I didn't need that for me to do what I'm doing now. And none of my teachers and professors' lifestyles was something that I aspired to have. So if I had access to the information sooner, and I knew that, oh, okay, cool, this 90,000 I can invest in a mentor, a program, a coach, or to learn whatever I want to learn, I would have been further along faster because I actually put that money into something that I wanted to invest in now that would give me some type of results that were tangible, and that would be, results that would be much quicker than 4 years. I mean, that first year was basically just general studies. What does that even mean? You know what I'm saying? So that's just how I feel about it, guys. So just recapping, utilizing and becoming more knowledgeable around the three rules of selling will allow you to position your products and services when it comes to your messaging in a better position so you can provide a lot more context and close sales for people that are really ready to go to that next level. It is not your obligation or your requirement to convince. However, I do believe in consistent follow up because the fortune is in the follow up. So whether you're following up or you have some automation following up or you have an assistant or whatever the case may be. All right, guys. So that's today's episode of the Imperfect Action Show. Hope you guys got a lot of value from today's show. This episode obviously is sponsored by the Imperfect Action Con. All the information will be below. So if you want to grab your ticket, I would suggest that you do so. August 19th and 20th in Los Angeles. You do not want to miss it. All right, guys. I will see you tomorrow. More fire, more gems, more things for you to implement into your business to get a result right away. This has been the Imperfect Action Show. My name is Brendan Boyd. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Let's go.